Namaste, welcome. Welcome for tuning in, where in this little video I'd like to share a little personal story around yoga for me. And this has all to do with a famous quote, the famous quote of Pattabhi Jois, the founder of Ashtanga Vinyasa Yoga, which is like practiced worldwide nowadays, and most of us know. A practice I started my journey with as well many years ago. And this quote is, "Practice, practice, all is coming." And for me, especially in the beginning of my yoga journey, where everything was fully focused on the physical body and the asana performance, so to say, and my Ashtanga journey, I took this really literal, practice, practice, all is coming. And I found it also a little bit back in the teachers that were crossing my path in these days. So I practiced and I practiced every day as much as I could. I really found it, and I was like, wow, this is changing so much in my body, in my life, which was amazing. But also it gave me sort of a push to really go into little details of putting my fingers in front and putting my foot in the right angle, and practice, practice, you will sit in lotus one day. All these things that came as promises as well on that path I was following. And on that path I was following by pushing myself quite a lot, which I was already also doing in my normal life through the job I had, the lifestyle I was following. I was having my own patterns and habits and environment where I pushed myself quite a lot. And then in my practice also, I started to notice that it was not so helpful anymore. For me, it had sort of like a contra effect on at least my physical body, but also a little bit on my mind. Even though the practice was doing me well, I became very fidgety over if I was doing it correct and comparing myself with others, and how come I can still not sit in this half lotus or do this certain pose or take so long that I can like really perfection my chaturanga. All these things that came up over time. Practice, practice, always coming. There was a teacher once that explained this beautiful quote it is to me in a different way, because I started to really dislike this quote and I could not really relate to it anymore. I pushed myself actually too far, and even into physical injuries, but I wanted to do it perfectly and correct, and was really going for the perfect asana and flow, so to say. And this teacher, David Swenson, which is one of the big Ashtanga teachers, I was in a big room with 300 other people. I didn't practice Ashtanga for a few years because I found that practice was not for me anymore. It was not made for my physical body as well. And he gave another turn to this quote, and then for me it clicked, and I want to share that with you also. Practice, practice, always coming. Did you ever ask yourself why we're on this mat? Why are we doing what we're doing here? Why do we practice? What is it all for? Is it to be able to do this perfect posture? Is it to be able to make a beautiful photo and place it on your Instagram or Facebook? Is it because you're becoming better than the one next to you in class? Is it because to please the teacher? Is it what is driving us as well next to that maybe? Because a lot of these things I just said were a lot of my mind in the beginning of my journey. I wanted to heal this body also from a chronic disease I had before, and it worked for sure. So coming back to this big gym where I was with these 300 people and David Swenson, practice, practice, always coming. I was a little bit afraid of doing the full primary series with him because I know there's a few postures I cannot do. But he explained it all very well. And there it clicked for me. There it clicked for me why I was every day on this mat. Why that practice, all is coming, because everything is coming the whole time to us. Anything in our lives is coming towards us. Sometimes we see it coming, sometimes it comes very unexpectedly in our life. And when we practice, we are better prepared for whatever that is coming. Not so much maybe sitting in this perfect lotus pose or posture, which you can see I can still not do after so many years of practice, because I have a certain body type that has not the bone structure to put me into a lotus position. Doesn't make me not a good yogi, so to say. Not a good practitioner. Yes, I'm choosing to be in this way. This is what my body can do. And when I practice in this way and allow myself to be here now like this, then I can really practice because I find comfort in my body, and for the rest everything can flow. So practice, all is coming. We're on this mat, doing our practice, aligning ourselves, turning inwards, and actually with that, preparing ourselves for anything that comes when we step off this mat. This is just the little beginning and preparation. Sometimes I feel, for myself, over the years, I made this too big. While actually yoga goes outside of the borders of this mat. And when I can take anything I do here on the mat, what I learn through everyone and through myself, what I get confronted with in my practice, what I find there, where I align myself with in every breath, that I can use that off the mat. If I practice according to honoring my body, honoring myself each and every day with all the beautiful possibilities that there are there, then I notice I find some contentment. I find more compassion towards myself and all these things. Apart from maybe finding some more flexibility in my body, some more breath to live from, some calmness in my mind, I find this santosha, this contentment and this compassion, the metta, and I take that off the mat. And then all is coming off this mat towards us. And then the practice is helping me also, like my mom said when I was younger, Astrid, count to 10, because I can be quite a fiery person. Count to 10. Now I understand why she said that. It's the same as doing my practice and being off the mat and being more mindful in my normal daily life. Practice, all is coming. Any challenge, any joy, everything is always there. And through the yoga we practice on the mat, the meditation we do, the mindfulness we put in our practice, the breathing exercises, everything, we're more prepared for what is coming to us off the mat. And we might just take a breath before we respond to certain things that are challenging, or know that things are coming and going anyways, and are better prepared for everyday life. So I'm very thankful to this teacher, even though he didn't say it with all these words, to give me that insight for myself. And this is my story. Maybe you have your own. But yes, ask yourself, maybe even on a daily basis, why do you practice? What is your intention behind your practice? And this intention can change on a daily basis, or every time we step on the mat, every time we step out of our bed in the morning actually. You know, the 24-hour cycle in a day is a 24-hour yoga practice. Not only on this beautiful mat we have, there is this opportunity to, yes, practice yoga, which is in everything. So I hope with this that you keep on practicing, and with that, Yeah, practice, practice, always coming anyways. We don't know what it is, but we better be prepared.